Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've got a 2x chance on Sacred Shards to get legendary champions this weekend. So this is probably the best time to pull shards unless you're saving for fusions. But with the new kind of introduction of things like Guardian Ring, where you've got your faction guardians and dupes actually make some sort of difference, empowering champions, we're seeing a lot of +2, +3, +4 champions, which do tons of work. So getting dupes is no longer the big kind of tragedy that it used to be. In fact, it's pretty sought after for a lot of endgame players. But if you're not an endgame player and you just want a better chance of getting legendaries, well, you know, normally it's a 6% chance of getting a legendary. Over the 2x chance, it's going to be 12. So people have really high expectations that they're going to get a ton of legendaries when 2x Sacreds is on. In fact, I see more messages saying I'm quitting Raid because of this shard pool event than any other type of shard pool event. Because there's just this massive expectation that 12% means I should get a legendary every time I pull a shard. In fact, it's about 1 in 9, and even then, you're lucky if it is. So, that's kind of going on. Now, at the same time, they're doing a 10x chance to get yourself one of these new spangly champions. And this one is actually maybe the best looking champion in the game. I mean, she's up there, right? She's up there as one of the best. I mean, she could look a bit chilly, but she's pretty well covered up. I really love this skin. I think this skin is freaking awesome. Such a good job on this one. This is the type of skin where it's like, damn, I want that champion, even if I don't end up using her, just so I can check her out now and then. Not in that kind of, sordid way. But anyway, what's going on with this champion? So massive base defense, 1509 is huge. Big speed as well, 100, 18k HP. She is like the tank, yeah? She can stay alive. She doesn't look like it, but I'll tell you now, she can stay alive, which is great. She's got an A1 with a freeze chance on it. So if booked, 50% chance of placing a freeze. That's actually pretty good for an A1. Also applies debuff spread, taking one random debuff from the target, place it on all enemies under freeze. And she does some more freeze mechanics in a minute. So, debuff spreads in certain situations can be massive. But the trouble is you can't freeze bosses. So it's only really wave content, arena based type stuff. Not saying it's bad. It's just, generally if I want to do a debuff spread, then probably it's something to do with bosses, honestly, like Hydra or whatever. But let me just think here. Applies a debuff spread, taking one random debuff from the target, place it on all enemies under freeze. So I guess if you've got the main spider with, like HP burn on, and the spiderlings have got freeze on, I guess this works to spread the HP burn to the freeze champions, even if the main spider can't be frozen. I'm pretty sure that's the way it reads to me, is that should work. So that's actually a pretty legit strat. Anyway, Gliseah Soulguide, A1 pretty decent. A2, AoE ability, places a weaken. Yeah, places a weaken debuff for 2 turns. I don't need any books or anything to make sure it happens. It just happens if you've got the right accuracy and the right affinity stuff. Also steals a random buff from each enemy under freeze. Pretty cool. Not crazy, but pretty cool. Pre-turn cooldown here for an AoE hit is quite nice. It's not the highest damage hit you're going to see in the game, but it's a decent damage hit. Everything she does is based on defense as well. So the stats you pour into her to keep her alive are also the stats that pour out damage, which is nice. And then we've got the A3. So this is cool. 4-turn cooldown, places block debuffs on all allies for 2 turns. That is a great buff. In any situation, that is a really great buff. Also, 60% goes up to 80 of placing a freeze on all enemies for a turn. Builds this champion's turn meter by 15% for each freeze. So this is a massive skill. Basically, you're taking out a wave of enemies with freeze. You're blocking debuffs coming at you. You're filling your turn meter to go again. It's a really, really great A3. I really like the A2 and A3 combined. And then this passive. So we kind of thought maybe this is the anti-Warlord. It kind of is, but it's still a bit too RNG. She doesn't do enough damage to be your kind of threat for a Warlord style team. But what's cool about this, so she cannot have her skills put on cooldown. So against someone like Iridoff, the dragon, can't put her skills on cooldown. Therefore, you're not taking extended damage, which is actually pretty cool in itself. The rest of her passive will not work for the rest of your team for Iridoff. But it will work against Warlord, basically. Whenever an enemy tries to put either this champion's skills or an ally's skills on cooldown, freezes that enemy, and then a 50% chance to deny the cooldown increase. So it's pretty much a Warlord or a Basher coming at you. This freezes the person who's trying to do that to you. And then instead of putting skills on cooldown, 50% chance for your team they don't, and for her they definitely don't. It's pretty cool. The freeze can't be blocked or resisted, which means that you actually don't even need accuracy to make that freeze happen from this. But you do need accuracy everywhere else, so you probably would just build her out with accuracy. I don't know, guys. I mean, I would not be sad if I got her. I feel like there's some place for her in the meta. She's too RNG to be the anti-Warlord we hoped she was going to be. But she is still really solid. Gives you resistance in all battles as well. There's definitely a ton of places that you could use her effectively. I've rated her highly pretty much anywhere in the game on my website at the moment without a kind of full play test, just because, you know, the skills just seem to make sense. So, great champion. She's actually available. Let me just make sure I get this right. The Shard event's going to be starting on Friday, which is normal. Friday through to end of Sunday. So 72 hours. And it says here, we're planning to launch to 10 times for Gliseah. The event will be live for 48 hours. So I guess the Friday, Saturday is going to be with a 10 times with her. And then the Sunday is where you would just get normal shard pulls, I think. It's the way it reads, but it's not 100% clear which day it is, honestly. But I think it's going to be the Friday, Saturday, she's on a 10 times. And then the Sunday will just be a normal 2 times sacreds. So there you go, guys. As long as I'm feeling up to it and feeling good, me and Lady H are actually going to be doing a shard pull stream on the Friday. So if anyone actually wants to have their shards pulled live on stream, drop me a DM on Discord and we'll try and get you into the list. It's normally a bit of a fun. Normally have a few drinks and a laugh. But there you go, guys. What do you think? I mean, we fed it back 100 times and we still had no change, but surely the 10 times should become at least like a 25 times. The game has pretty much doubled the number of champions, and it used to be a real bonus to get that 10 times in for a champion you wanted. Now it just feels like, yeah, but there's so many, it's still pretty weak. It's still a weak chance. But this is the best chance you're going to get. 2 times sacreds and a 10 times. I'm going for it. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I will catch you later.